Hello and welcome to the 0% Club, a podcast where we watch and review 0% rated movies on Rotten Tomatoes so that you don't have to. I'm your host, Evan James, and as always, I am joined by our two good boys. Hello, Chris.
Yo, yo.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, hello.
In this episode 9 of the 0% Club, we watched the 2019 animated movie, The Queens Corgi. The British monarch's favorite dog gets lost from the palace and finds himself at a dog fight club. And he then begins his long journey to find his way back home. This movie runs 1 hour and 25 minutes, a tight 85. So, gentlemen, was this movie the top dog, or was it just puppy love?
What do you got, Torres?
It was no Toy Story. That's for sure. When it comes to animations,
There was no
The animation
Toy Story.
quality wasn't great on this one.
No.
Our first animated film, though.
I would take the 1995 Toy Story animation over Queens Corgi animation.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
It creeped me out. It was like uncanny valley type stuff.
I was really worried that when the first 5 minutes there was no dialogue, I was sweating.
Luckily, I had watched a trailer beforehand, but I felt the same way. As it started in the first couple minutes, there's no dialogue. I started to worry, although I wrote the note, show, don't tell. As if this is a great film, and I'm like, oh man, they're nailing the show, don't tell here.
I thought my TV was broken at first.
We're all on the same wavelength sometimes because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, are we really going to go with zero dialogue in this movie? 85 minutes of animation with no words?
It might have been better than the actual movie.
No, but yeah, I thought for a minute it was like the Tubi Super Bowl commercial. I thought something was wrong with my TV. You know, I was like, is this the sound? Do I need to turn it off? Do I need to restart Amazon Prime? Why is this? Why am I not hearing anything? Then thankfully we got into it. Not a top dog movie though, Evan. Not a top dog movie.
Oh, that's a shame.
Not this time.
Not puppy love either, though. Really.
No, you didn't like the musical sequence where he's singing "Might Be Puppy Love"?
No. No, I did not.
That wasn't hitting it for you.
Sounds like Tom wants to put this movie back in the pound.
Oh,
Hey-o.
I wish I had that one earlier. Before we go too deep in, Chris, can you take us through the plot of this film?
Of course, let's do it. The movie starts with a montage of a puppy corgi named Rex growing up in Buckingham Palace, living the life of luxury. He lives there with 3 other corgis, including his best friend Charlie. Rex rises through the ranks to become the Queen's top dog. During a visit from President Trump and the First Lady, it's decided that Rex and Mitzi, the president's dog, should become mates. Rex does not like Mitzi at all, so while trying to evade her, he causes chaos all around the palace, and this upsets the Queen. Rex feels bad about disappointing the Queen and decides to run away with Charlie to become the Pope's dog at Vatican City. Charlie tells Rex to take off his top dog collar so he can't be ID'd. This was all a setup by Charlie, who pushes Rex into a frozen stream, seemingly to his death. This shows that Charlie wants to be the top dog, and it was all a setup. Rex is saved by a good Samaritan in the park and brought to the pound. In the shelter, Rex is standoffish at first because he is royalty, but eventually warms up to his friends and even falls in love with Wanda. But Wanda is dating a pit bull named Tyson, and when Tyson finds out that Rex and Wanda are becoming close, this makes Tyson very mad, and Tyson challenges Rex to a fight. Tyson tries to kill Rex, but Rex gets away. Eventually, Rex bands the dogs together, and they stop Tyson from bullying them and defeat Tyson once and for all. Rex and Wanda, with a few other dogs, return to Buckingham Palace, but the guards kick them out. Rex is now presumed dead, thanks to Charlie. This doesn't stop the dogs from getting in and trying to stop Charlie from becoming the top dog. Rex and Wanda almost stop him, but Charlie locks them in a room and starts a fire. The other dogs come to the rescue, and when the Queen eventually sees Rex is alive and wants him to be the top dog once again. Instead, Rex allows Charlie to be the top dog, which forces him to be Mitzi's mate, and now Charlie has to move to America living with Mitzi. Now, Rex is left to live happily ever after with Wanda and his friends in Buckingham Palace. The movie is over.
Or as he refers to it, Buckingham P.
Buckingham P.
Buckingham P.
Buckingham
Let's go.
It would have he'd fit well in where we work, you know. But he needs to learn. He should shorten it. I was thinking like maybe Bucky P, perhaps.
Bucky P? Oh, little BP?
Bucky
Old
P.
Bucky P. Buckingham P was a
God.
great one though.
The character.
I gotta get
the
back to
character Rex
Buckingham P.
He's such an annoying main
Rex is
character.
an asshole, man.
Hard to root for.
Yeah.
Hard to root for during this film. This children's film.
Oh, Rex is so stuck up.
Right.
It's like, I'm
But those are the-
royalty. I'm the top dog.
Key words, Evan. This is supposed to be a children's movie, and my God, there is some stuff that this a couple of turns this movie takes and things that are said that this is not a kids movie. I know they like to make kids movies so that adults, like the parents taking the kids there, can enjoy it, but there's some dialogue that may have entered PG-13 range.
Yeah, there's the occasional joke for the parent, but this one definitely takes a little overboard for sure.
Yeah, with lines like, here comes the bride, consider suicide. No, it's not kid friendly.
Or what about all right, Mitzi, grab some puppy?
At least that's like that one I can get a little bit more. It's like kids aren't going to get the reference.
No, but
With Donald Trump saying that.
yeah.
With the worst Donald Trump impression I've ever heard. Like, he didn't even try.
I do like where he took two pictures at Buckingham P, and each time he said, royal selfie, cheesesteak.
Yeah.
I did like the Coca-Cola being replaced with the T.
Oh, the Confetti?
Yeah, the yeah.
Yeah, they also have at the Pound, Tyson is an abusive boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He literally
Like,
pulled his
he's
fist
a
back.
controlling, abusive boyfriend. And I was really like, I would never, if I had kids, I would not want them to watch this movie at all.
Yeah, he was about to hit her. Like, clearly has done it in the past.
Isn't that the crazy thing about this movie, though, is that, like, the premise of it was not going to be, like you said, it wasn't going to be Toy Story award-winning, but it could have, on paper, had potential if you took out the underground dogfighting ring that they are running, like Royal Corgi, which people know that, you know, Queen Elizabeth, she had a ton of corgis in her life, but he, like, you know, gets lost or whatever, and then he has to find his way back to Buckingham Palace, and it's like a journey back. Like, that could be a kids movie, and if you just stick to the basics, it's probably gonna be a movie that like kids watch and parents take their kids to.
Yeah,
Like, they had it on paper. They had the
makings.
framework of a good kids movie.
And it seemed like they were trying to hit certain beats. Like when Charlie pushes Rex off the bridge into the ice, you're like, oh, you're trying to be Lion King right now. He's pushing him, you know, like Scar's pushing Simba. Like, I see what you're going for. And like, you're not quite there,
Yeah.
but at least like you're in the realm. Is like close. And then you have these problematic scenes where you go, this film is not, you're not where you want to be.
This movie was written by someone in their late 30s, right? With the Lion King and the Fight Club reference that only the parents taking their kids to this movie would know. Like, what are you talking about? We don't talk about the Fight Club. What's a Fight Club? Like, that movie came out how long ago? This is what you're referencing right now?
Didn't that film come out like 99?
Something like that.
Going back to something you said before about the Queen, very, very famously owned corgis her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But ironically, her last corgi died on Friday, October 26th of 2018, about 3 months before this film's initial release.
Oh my God.
So at the time of this film coming out, she had no corgis. She had other dogs, other mixed breeds, and Trump, who in this film has a corgi, is famously one of 3 presidents who didn't have any pets while in office.
Didn't have a dog, yes.
Did any of you guys remember this movie coming out? I don't
No.
remember hearing about it.
I don't remember hearing about it, but like when I saw the poster, I thought like, oh, this kind of seems a little familiar. I feel like I remember seeing the title. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't
I feel
remember
like-
anything about this coming out, or the poster, and trailer, nothing.
Yeah, and then watching it, I felt like this is just this felt like a bad version of The Secret Life of Pets. I mean, now we have more of them coming out still, like the League of DC Super Pets or something.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that looks terrible.
It feels like it's become anything that's animated that can be a children's movie they can make, and they know that like parents will get their kids to go there so they don't talk for 2 hours.
Yeah, but then you see the reviews for this, and it's all parents being like, "Don't take your kids to this. This was awful.
This was terrible." Why you're making a kids movie? Why the underground dog fighting ring? Why? What does that add to this movie? How is that a decision that's made to put that in here?
It's supposed to take Rex and like humble him and make him grow as a character from this like, sheltered character, and other than his decision at the end, like he doesn't really change much. He doesn't really grow much. There's not like a real great arc for him.
Although Rex is playing
for that he
chess at the end while Charles is still is playing checkers, right? Like, no, I don't want to be top dog.
Yeah,
that guy's playing chess.
The training montage they had, like that was probably their best chance of making a fun scene in this movie, and it was like tedious to watch. There was not even a moment in the montage that could have been funny or like fun to watch. It was just making Rex look like he was not going to be able to do anything because he's just a royal spoiled brat, which is what he is in the movie. But yeah, like Evan said, nothing happens. He doesn't change except for he tries to rally everybody around to fight Tyson so that they can stop being bullied by him.
Yeah, and the guys in his cell that he befriends, they go from when he first comes in, he's like, "Oh, I'm the Queen's Corgi," and they're like, "Yeah, right." It nothing happens from that moment to 30 seconds later when they're like, "Oh wow, are you really?" Like they just flip a switch and suddenly they just believed him. Nothing actually happened. I was gonna say Wanda makes sense why she believes him because she sees his face on the mug. Yep. The other characters just nothing. Literally seconds later, just suddenly are like, "Oh really?"
Yeah, Wanda's also a user. She finds that out and she's like, "This is my my meal ticket out of here." So she's gonna use them, but eventually I guess they fall in love. But really takes Rex for a ride.
Do you blame her though? Do you blame her for trying to get out of there though?
No, but I'm supposed
not
to
in
root
the
for
kids
this
movie.
character. If I'm supposed to root for this character, why are you gonna put her off on a foot where she immediately is like very clearly like gold digging?
Well,
and
yeah.
she's like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
she doesn't give him the time of day, and then literally finds out who he is, and she goes, "Ooh," and then like they make like jokes about it immediately, where she like pretends to know things and like like clearly is just like trying to get him to say she's gonna take him or he's gonna take her to the Buckingham Palace, Buckingham P.
And you know what's funny? I just looked it up because I totally agree with you, Evan, that the Trump impersonation was terrible. And then I look up the actor, the voice actor who did Trump's voice, and this guy's got 758 credits to his name on IMDb. And this is the voice acting credits in video games, animated TV series. Like this is the like Fire Emblem Warriors and like Cyberpunk and a Call of Duty game, and like this is the best Trump impersonation you can conjure up.
A guy so famously easy to impersonate,
right?
And they just got a guy who I'll just talk, not even doing an impersonation. This is just me talking. Like what?
Like he is in
couldn't get a single. And it wasn't like they were shying away from making fun of the guy.
No.
They clearly like made fun of him the whole time he's on screen, but you draw the line at doing an impersonation.
Right.
Probably a budget thing.
Right. You can't get a budget thing. This guy, I'm looking at this guy's, I just keep on scrolling on his credits. It feels like he does like 15, 20 voice act over things a year. So he couldn't have been cheap. I mean, he's not like a name.
Do any of us know if the Queen's voice was accurate?
Oh, I don't know.
If I've ever heard the Queen talk.
I've never been a royal family person, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know her voice well enough to tell you how good of an impersonation is. but at least like I would imagine that's what she sounded like.
I would, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I ever heard her speak.
Well, clearly we didn't like that movie that much.
No, we didn't.
But let's see. Let's go through some critic reviews and see how they felt about the movie. I got a quote here from Joe Barry for Movies for Kids. Said, quote, Rex is nearly sexually assaulted by the Trump's own corgi, leading him to launch himself onto Mr. Trump, biting down on his nether regions. You don't get that in Toy Story.
Oh, Toy Story reference. There you go.
I got, make no bones about it, this Queens Corgi is a dog's dinner.
Zara Gwen on Letterboxd. I wonder if the Queen even know this exists.
That's a good question.
I bet she did.
She probably did.
I bet she did. She had a lot of corgis like throughout her life. If they made a movie about her corgi, she probably heard about it. But I'm sure someone vetted it before she saw it and was like, "Nah, don't worry. You don't want to see this."
I just looked up if she knew about it, and I can't confirm or deny. There's no evidence of her knowing about it.
Yeah, I doubt she ever. If she did, she didn't publicly speak about it.
It never got to Buckingham P.
Steve G on Letterboxd. If you weren't in favor of the abolition of the monarchy before watching the Queen's Corgi, you sure as fuck would be after about 28 seconds of it.
I got one from Clarice Laffrey. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry, Clarice. Something deeply unpleasant and in no way suitable for children.
James Crute of Stuff.co. It already feels dated and is unlikely to age well. Yeah. Seems accurate.
An anonymous review on Rotten Tomatoes. Incredible animation. I liked the part where the dog that is the Queen's is hit on by the dog that is the President's. Ha 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 ha.
5 stars. The person gave that 5 stars. I saw that one.
That one was one of my favorites.
Kella M writes, is this seriously even a movie? The innuendos are horrible for children. This movie is trashy and disgusting. I can't believe my husband paid money to rent it. Facepalm emoji.
Peter. Dog fight clubs, Trump jokes, and sexual harassment. What a bizarre kids movie.
Jolly M writes, so offensive on so many levels. We thought this was a movie for kids. The characters were adorable, and the first few minutes of the movie seemed to be about dog jealousy. Then, for some insane reason, they added sexual and rude humor, swearing, and awful characters. What a waste of potential, and such a disappointment when family movie night was ruined.
Family movie night was ruined. Oh, I'd love to imagine them just covering their kids' eyes when Mitzi comes on screen. Like, oh my God.
Don't worry.
What's this dog trying to do to this other dog?
Oh, I got another anonymous one. My 5-year-old grandson loves this movie. He's a smart kid. He often asks to watch it. The movie is much better than some of the reviews. The kids will like it.
That reads like one of those, when people write those like really intelligent quotes and they claim their kid wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
my 5-year-old is really smart. Loves this film.
Let's get some cards on the table here, Tom.
yeah.
What did you think? Did this movie deserve its 0%?
See, now I'm wondering if my opinion's going to be skewed because this was fresh off the heels of the Bolero debacle that we watched, but I don't think this is a 0% movie. It wasn't good, but it's not the worst one we've seen. I think it's probably fits somewhere in the middle. Maybe like the third or fourth worst one we've seen, but I don't think it's a 0%. There was like enough of, I don't know, like I'm trying to think about it as a kid's movie. There's enough of kind of cute, things for an animated movie and some stuff I laughed at. In the past when we've said if something gives us a few chuckles, like it's not a 0% movie, like there was enough there where I'd give it, I don't know, 15%, 10%, something like that.
Evan, what do you got?
I have to agree. This isn't a 0% movie. As much as we're pointing out all the flaws and like how it makes you uncomfortable, that the dogs get weirdly sexual with each other, and there's, weird rape theme there going on with Mitzi.
Yeah.
It is trying to be funny, and so those moments, they don't quite land, but like the other parts of the film at least make sense. They at least hit some of the notes they're trying to hit. The animation's not good, but it's like it's watchable. This feels like a free film you might stumble on like Netflix Kids, like it's not 0%. It's like a 10-15%.
Yeah.
Not good. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you were obsessed with the Queen or your child obsessed with dogs, I can understand enjoying this at least.
If they just took out the underground dog fight scene and even left in the weird sexual stuff between and like the suicide joke that they tried to make in the movie, if they just take out the Fight Club, I bet you we're not watching this movie. I bet you it gets a couple of positive reviews. Then it's just the Corgi trying to get back to the Queen.
Yeah, I think if you just have that, and then the fact that it's also like, it doesn't get very political, but there are some political jokes in there, so I feel like they may have gotten ostracized a little bit on that front as well, but not enough to really feel like this movie was 0%. Chris, cards on the table, what you got?
Pretty much agree with you guys. I think it's probably a 5 to 10%. I think if you take out some of the rapey scenes with the dogs, if you take out the suicide and cocaine jokes, then yeah, it's just a kid's movie, right? So I wouldn't want a kid who's 9 to 10 years old watching this and then getting ideas in the schoolyard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if it's like a 2-3-year-old who just wants to watch a dog running around, it's probably fine just to have on in the background, but there's a lot better movies out there to watch, so I would not recommend this to my family and friends who have kids for their kids to watch.
Gonna ruin family.
But I don't think
night.
it's... Yeah. I don't think it's a total 0% movie. I didn't like it by any means, but it was definitely not one of the worst movies I've ever
What do
watched.
you think did you see the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes? If you guys didn't, what do you think this one got?
Oh, no, have not.
I did not.
What do you think this one got?
I'm gonna say about 23%.
Ooh. I'm going to go 39%.
Torres is the winner. It got
what was it?
37%.
Okay.
Really? Yeah, that's what I figure. Looking at Letterboxd, some people say they actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
There was actually like on Rotten Tomatoes, there was some user reviews that weren't the troll ones that we see on these movies that were like genuine, like me and my family enjoyed this movie type of reviews, which is...
Yeah, I feel like there's an audience for this film.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not a big one, but like you could see it when you're watching it. You go, I could see why some people might enjoy this.
Right. But this is by far, like, as far as audience scores go, this is one of the bigger differentials between 0% and what this movie got between critics and the audience. I think the biggest one was Problem Child. I think Problem Child got 42%. And this one's...
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I think you give these kids' movies a lot more leniency with being just bad and not entertaining because, you're trying to entertain a brain that's not fully formed. And, you're trying to just...
Yeah.
Lowest common denominator jokes.
And you got the two soft spots that, like you mentioned, the royal family and if you had a corgi, like, growing up. Or
I thought you were talking about a child's head, the two soft spots.
who do you guys have as the worst character?
It's gotta be Charlie. I mean, whoa, wait, you know what? Tyson.
Tyson's bad. Very bad. But he's already in the pound.
Yeah.
He's doing his time.
He's a domestic abuser, whereas Charlie attempts murder to usurp the throne.
He attempts...
Charlie attempts a coup.
He attempts murder.
Or is it
And then
Mitzi who's trying to rape Rex?
Ooh, Mitzi, that's a dark horse.
Oh man!
But you got Charlie taxing dinner. Now that he's the Lord.
Yo, I forgot about. Yep, yeah, Charlie.
What is he doing?
Because he starts
taxing dinner.
He started eating their food and saying, "I'm taking a 50% food tax."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On the other dogs, and then
tax.
throwing the food in their faces and making them call him liege lord.
He also started a fire.
Yeah,
He did.
tried to kill him again.
He tried to murder him again.
with
Wanda.
Wanda there. Yeah. Charlie's the winner.
I got Charlie as the bad dog.
He's not a good boy.
He's the top
Not a
dog
good
of
boy.
the bad dogs.
He's the top bad dog.
Yeah, that's fair. He deserves it.
Yeah, well deserved.
Texan dinner is what put him over, I think.
Not multiple murder attempts. Taxing dinner, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Throwing the dinner in their faces.
That dog's a serial killer in the making.
So where do we have this movie? Probably in the middle, like Tom said, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at our list.
I think this is kind of just behind like Super Babies for me.
So we got very quickly from best, I guess, to worst was Problem Child, Jaws the Revenge, Super Babies, Transylvania, Left Behind, Ballistic, Nutcracker 3D, Bolero.
Oh, do I like this better or worse than Transylvania?
I
think this is where it comes down to for me.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely better than Left
think I
Behind. That's for sure.
I enjoyed Transylvania more.
I would
Yeah,
I had more fun watching that movie.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, I agree.
So that puts it.
I had more fun watching Ballistic's X vs. Sever, but that movie was longer and more boring in general. But I think this is slightly worse. Or slightly better
Queens
than that.
Corgi makes it right above Transylvania. Between Transylvania and Left Behind, which is probably where it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it the 5th worst movie we've seen. Out of, what, 9 now?
And
That's about right.
Well, it's episode 9.
episode 9, yeah. And Charlie is the worst character.
Agreed. All right, that does it for this episode of the 0% Club. If you want to see our definitive rankings for worst ZPC movies and characters, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ZPCPod. Next episode, we review the 2016 film Cabin Fever. While staying at a remote cabin for a week-long vacation, a group of 5 college friends succumb to an infectious, flesh-eating disease. Make sure to like, follow, and rate each episode. New episodes release every other Tuesday, so turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Did we deserve 0%? Leave a comment and let us know. As always, thanks for listening.